Portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by Evans and Evans Real Estate.
Once again, it is time for Real Estate Today by Evans and Evans Real Estate. Today, I'm joined by Karen Jenkins. And Karen, we're out here at a beautiful older home, which we're going to talk about a little bit more later on.
Yes.
But when you're going to purchase an older property, there's some things you really need to keep in mind.
There's sure. I love older homes.
Yes.
When we would go look at older homes, my husband would be like, yeah, I don't know, because I'm not saying don't ever buy an older home. I love older homes, but there's some things you need to know about when you go in. Let's start from top to bottom.
Okay.
The roof. You know, most shingled roofs last about 30 years.
Right.
You know, so you want to take a look at that roof. If it's a metal roof, you've got a lot longer lifespan to it, but just take a look. And again, that shouldn't dissuade you if the roof needs to be replaced, but calculate that cost into your budget, of course.
And you know, you look around here, taking a look at the outside of this home or any home, you want to make sure landscaping's done. You want to make sure the outside of the home has got a good appearance. Things of that nature, the siding's good. In this case, brick, you want to make sure all of that looks good.
Yes, so brick is obviously very long lasting, energy efficient, that kind of thing. But if it is siding, there are still some houses out there that have asbestos siding.
Right.
So that's bad. If you
that's got to be taken care of.
So, and that has to be taken care of by a professional company. So again, that's something that you have to look at. But then moving inside, some things you can't see, like the plumbing and electrical. There are still some houses that use that old knob and tube wiring. And again, not saying, I mean, it still works. It's still, you know, in use. You can still go buy the fuses at the hardware store, but it's safer and more efficient if you were to upgrade that electrical, upgrade that plumbing. You've got the old galvanized pipes.
You may have galvanized, you may have old copper. There's numerous things that could be.
Right, so what you want to look for in the plumbing is to see if they've got the PEX, as they call it, which is the blue and the red, you know, that's how you know that's the upgraded plumbing. So those are some things that maybe you can't see, but that you want to look for.
And you know, we were looking out here earlier and you see the heating and air units out here. You want to make sure that that's up to standard too.
Yeah, because again, talking about old houses, sometimes you had baseboard heat, heat systems underneath the floor or in the ceiling, radiating heat, just things that we just don't use anymore. So you want to look for those. And if it does have a new heat pump, but maybe an old system, you want to make sure that those are shut off and not in use, those old heating systems sort of thing. So
and making sure, you know, I was just thinking too, you know, the septic systems, things of that nature, you know, the water systems, whether you're on a municipal water, whatever, there's lots to consider when you're buying an older property.
How many times have I sold a house and they say, when was the last time the septic was pumped? I don't know. You know? So
that could get messy and expensive
Exactly.
quick.
So go ahead and have those checked out as well. And another thing, if we sell a house that's built past 1978, we have to do the lead-based paint disclosure. Apparently kids used to chip the paint and eat it. I never did. I think my brother did. I think that might be what's wrong with him.
But I never ate it. Okay.
But if we sell a house that was built before 1978, both the buyer and the seller have to sign that disclosure saying, we realize there may be lead paint in this house, but you know, you can paint over that or you can scrape it and dispose of it. So again, none of these things are things that should keep you from buying an older home. Just got to be aware and keep that in your budget.
And we say that about every home. Buyer beware.
Buyer beware. Get those inspections.
Exactly.
And
inspections so vitally.
Do your homework on older homes. But then once you've got an older home, gosh, they've got so much charm and character. And like we were saying, if the walls could talk, you know.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to come back here in just a few moments, and we're going to see if the walls are going to tell us anything about this beautiful home here. It is located on Smith Bridge Road down here in Washington County, Tennessee. A beautiful property that we're going to be showing you a little bit later on here on Real Estate Today by Evans and Evans Real Estate.
The preceding portion of Daytime Tri-Cities was sponsored by Evans and Evans Real Estate.